Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to bring you another one of my junk journals, which is listed in my Etsy. This particular one, this was the one that we created in the Creating a Basic Junk Journal. So you may have seen my series. The size of the journal is 6.5 by 9. It's not too chunky, so it's just kind of like 1.5 inches at the chunkiest point. It feels absolutely gorgeous. It's lovely and squishy. It's made from an envelope, you know, which is my generally go-to way to make a journal. I love doing them with the envelopes because I just love that sort of squishy feel. And then I have covered the envelope with this lovely fabric, which I had received in Happy Mail some time ago. I just thought it was perfect for this journal. On the back, I've just included my little stamped Handmade by Shabbydabbydoodah there. And I bound the journal just with this really pretty polka dot stretchy lace. So it's this kind of stretchy lace. It's not vintage or anything. But I just thought it looked so pretty against that cover. And all I did was literally wound it round a couple of times and then kind of threaded it under. So I didn't even tie a bow or anything. And then on the actual cover itself, I have layered up a few different things. So we've got some lovely fabric here. We've got some lace trim, some of those neck curtains of my nan's, bless her. And then we've got some other lace here, which I had also received in Happy Mail. And then I've got this image from my architecture kit, and that's been stitched onto the lace on the sewing machine. And that's obviously in, you know, card rather than fabric. And then here I've just got one of my book plate pieces, which again, I've just put some brads in and popped that on the front. So yeah, really like how that looks. And then going on in, so this one we created trying to kind of bring us back to basics and show how you could make a really beautiful journal, but without going OTT with all the sort of elaborate pockets and all of those kinds of things. And I have to say, I just really love how it turned out. So I hope you guys really like it too. So on the inside of the front cover, I've covered it with sheet music. I have left a huge pocket here, so you could put lots of memorabilia and photographs and things like that in there. So yeah, I really, you know, that's a really nice handy pocket to put in there. Then you've got this pocket here, which again, I've just layered up some various things with some flowers, a little label, and then some lace here. And then tucked into that pocket, here is a paper bag, which again, I've layered up some things and just popped in a little ticket from my printables, and that's just like that. And then here tucked in, I've just included a sheet of, this is actually from my Grey Pavilion kit. So it's very pale and delicate, that particular kit. So, you know, you've just got a very delicate sort of print here. And so I thought it worked perfectly as a sort of stationery piece. And I've just coffee dyed that and popped that in there. So this one has got obviously a lot of room for journaling because it's not been too overly decorated. Here, this is just one of the pages from the Awesome Architecture kit, which I absolutely love. I mean, I just, yeah, really love that page. And then on the back of there, again, I think we did this possibly on video, got doily here, some neck curtain there, and then we just made one of those fold out flips here that we made as a pocket. You've got a little flap there that's been folded and then just tucked in a little architecture postcard at the top. It's a printable, it's not the original. So nice and simple, but really, really, you know, just vintage and lovely looking, I think. I've included lots of little pieces of stamping, but just in random spots and quite discreet, so they can easily be journaled over. Little flower here with some doily. Little image here with some flowers. Again, another page from the kit, just a bit of lace there on the side. And this is, so it's been done in a combination of sort of thicker pieces of card and thinner pages. It's all been coffee dyed, but so this is obviously a thinner page. You've got some doily there that's all been coffee dyed, and then you've got a page for journaling. And then tucked in here, you've just got one of my vintage large photographs. So that's that, plain on the back for journaling. You've got a ticket there, ticket strip, Again, you could journal on the back, or you could cut them into pieces and, you know, use them in your work or tuck them around in the journal. Obviously a corner pocket here with some lace at the bottom. And then here you've just got one of my vintage pieces of paperwork, which has been coffee dyed. It's a copy, but it looks nice and vintage. It's from 1939. So that all just tucks into that pocket. You'll have to excuse that it's gone really dark. I'm afraid it's suddenly chucking it down with rain, so sorry about that. On the back, you've got some more of that awesome architecture page. You've got some flowers. Oh, thunder now. And some lace there. On here, you've got one of my inked inchies and some doily. Other than that, plain for journaling. Here, you've got lots of journaling space. And then you've just got a pocket there made from some book page with a piece of the awesome architecture. Actually, it might be my architecture postcards, I think. Piece of doily there and a flower and some lace trim. And then we just made a little journaling card there from some not scrapbook paper, sorry, one of my printables. So you've just got spots on the back, so you could easily journal obviously over them. And I just put some, I think this was like vintage book page, a plainish piece that I've put on there for journaling. So I love how that looks. It just, you know, so simple, but such a nice journaling card. That just goes in there. So plain for journaling, and then another piece of that gorgeous paper. Plain for journaling. This is a vintage document which has been coffee dyed. It is the original. So obviously on the back it's plain, but this side is the vintage document. This is some vintage sheet music, some vintage book page. And then here you've just got a little foldy flip just from some scrapbook paper. I've just layered up a couple of bits on there and some neck curtain. This one of Rachel's labels there. Again, some more of that lovely awesome architecture page. Bit of lace on here, and then some doily. Again, plain for journaling. Another piece of that lovely awesome architecture page. Backed onto the grey pavilion, and you've got some lace there. This is one of Caroline from Caroline Craft Trees ticket printables. They're just such fun, and I just thought it went really nicely on here. You've got some of my little roses, and then here just done a little booklet, and then I've just bound it with baker's twine, which, oh my gosh, my eyesight's failing me, so I can't actually see to now undo it, and I'm at risk of now knotting it completely. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start wearing my glasses now for the flip throughs, I think, because yep, I'm definitely struggling to undo this. Hold on. Sorry about that. I've just grabbed my glasses and straight away obviously was able to see and undo it. So yeah. So this is just a little foldy piece. I love the foldy, you know, pieces. And they're just such a simple way to include something in a journal. And that obviously, as I say, just ties with the baker's twine. If you didn't like the twine, it's just glued on. You could obviously, you know, snip it at either end and, you know, take it off. And that's just a tuck spot. So, yeah. Then this is the centre of the signature. Again, I love how this looks. So it is just that gorgeous paper, which I left because I just thought it was just, you know, really nice on its own. You've got some of that lovely neck curtain down the side. And then I used one of my altered paper clips, which has, you know, got fabric and a piece and things and some lace and bling. And then that is clipping on. So you've got here, this is some of my vintage paperwork, dated from 1857. It's a copy of, but it's all been coffee dyed, so it's nice and vintage feeling. Then you've got here a certificate of baptism. Again, nice and vintage. It's a copy, but, you know, it's been coffee dyed and feels and looks nice and vintage. And then some of my large photographs, again, from my large photos kit. And again, they look really nice and aged and, you know, really nice. So that's all just clipped on with the paper clip. These have been printed onto glossy photographic paper. So I would just say, make sure that you've got kind of this page at the front, because I'm not sure whether the paper clip would scratch the surface of this, because I know that that photographic paper you know, it's a little bit susceptible, isn't it, to being scratched. So I just want to kind of point that out and just say, you know, just be a bit careful of that. Now I can't clip this back on, so let me clip it to this page. Maybe I will have more luck. Again, it's because you're doing things on camera, obviously it never goes quite to plan. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Then on the next page, I just made a belly band from some scrapbook paper. Some of my vintage dominoes running down the side there, and a lovely architecture piece there. One of my dictionary definitions and some flowers. Some of the vintage neck curtain, and then just tucked in again a little architecture picture there. Then you've got again some more room for journaling. And then on this page, again, I've just clipped on, this time just with a plain paper clip, a little foldy out piece, which just folds down there. And I love how this is. It's so simple. So it literally is just, you know, a longish piece of coffee dyed paper, a couple of bits decorated on it, and then it just tucks in here under that flower. So I mean, it just doesn't get any easier than that, but it gives you lots of journaling space and it looks really pretty. So that is just clipped on here. Oops, like that. And then going over the page, we've got here, oops, get rid of those threads, another architecture piece there just for some detail and some more neck curtain. Obviously the rest of that vintage book and the sheet music. The rest of that vintage document. Not that there's much showing obviously of it, but that's what that is. And then obviously the other piece of that architecture page. Some flowers here and some neck curtain. And then again, paper clipped on, you've got a really large tag. I love large tags. I just think they're such fun. So this is just some of that architecture page, and then just layered up with some of my vintage dominoes, a typewriter, some florals, little, my mind's gone blank, dictionary definition there, and some doily, and one of Rachel's labels there on the back again. So love how that looks, and it's just so simple. Again, that other piece of the architecture page, and then going over again, doesn't get any easier. So this is literally just a matchbox book, but it's made from some coffee dyed paper, and I've just stamped an image on there, put some sheet music down there, and then some lace down the side and the bottom. So I mean, super easy, but how pretty does that look? And then I've just sort of layered up a couple of things in the background, and again another little architecture piece tucked in there. And then we've just got some doily here, the rest of that actual coffee dyed doily, a bit of that grey pavilion page there. Again, this is some more of the architecture page, which, how pretty does that look just with those flowers? And then here I just did a sort of cluster and then tucked in another one of the architecture things. So, you know, this is just a tuck spot. And then here we've just got another belly band made from some vintage sheet music. Again, got some bits going on top and bottom. And then tucked into there, I just made a super simple little booklet just from some book page here. Layered up a couple of things on the front, and put some coffee dyed pages inside, and it's just been stapled on the side. So super simple but really pretty. And then here we've just got a corner tuck spot with some scrapbook paper, a couple of bits layered up, and again some more of the architecture postcards, little flower here, and some stamping. And then here again we've got that last page with that gorgeous paper. And then here we've just got a belly band piece, and I just tucked in a stamped piece. So this is just stamped onto some coffee dyed card. Tucks in there like that. Some roses in the background and some vintage sheet music, and again a little bit more of that lace. And then again in the back you've got a massive pocket. So front and back of this journal you've got these big pockets that you can obviously fill with lots of your own letters, photos, memories, you know, all sorts of goodies. And because this is not sort of a huge great big alligator mouth, you know, you can afford to actually put some things in there. So I love how this journal turned out. And again, I mean, if you followed along with the series, and you're kind of especially new to junk journals, you know, I hope that you kind of agree that actually, you know, simple turns out just as pretty. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this journal, and you know, even though it was very simple, I just think it's no less you know, fancy and pretty than something that's a bit more flamboyant. So I hope that you liked it, and yeah, I'd love it if you could give the video a thumbs up. Obviously, as I say, it's for sale now in my Etsy, and yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks then, bye.